pay the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice. That's why all my life I've been grinding all my life. All my life.
Darren and Sterling here on ESPN Kansas City, 1510 AM, 94.5 FM, 1510.com, Twitter and Facebook Live. If you want to see us, you can see us. I am live in studio. Darren Smith on remote. I don't even know where Darren's at. He's just a busy man. Darren, how are you doing?
Doing good. I am in Jacksonville. Gotta figure out why I'm here myself. I'm in Jacksonville. And my daughter's running down here, so she's running tonight, and she's also running on Saturday. She's running the 400 tonight, 4x4 on Saturday. So came down here, obviously, got to lend the support and stuff like that. So that's what I'm here. And I'm at the Margaritaville Beach Hotel. So got the beach, got the ocean right behind me.
That is awesome. That sounds like an absolute blast.
No. What would have been awesome is if I'd have done the show while in the ocean.
Yeah, that would have been pretty cool. I'll give you that. If you were in the ocean while doing this, I would have been very impressed. That's awesome for your daughter, man. Yeah. That's absolutely badass. Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it, man. But other than that, man, just enjoying the sunshine and the good weather down here, man. That's pretty much about it. Still got work to do. Obviously, we're doing the show from here, and we were on the Chiefs Zoom call about an hour or so ago, about a couple hours ago. So. A lot of, I don't want to say news, but a lot of stuff coming out of it. Andy Reid in particular, a lot of good stuff. He likes what he sees, between the rookies and the veterans and stuff like that. Even though they're not in pads, he's still liking everything that's coming out of OTAs and practice right now.
Being in Jacksonville, does everyone look like Gardner Minshew? Does every single person, you're like, is that Gardner? And they're like, no, that's just a normal guy from Jacksonville.
Yeah, well, look, it's a mix between Minshew and it's a mix between Trevor Lawrence, or as I like to call him, Sunshine. People down here in Jacksonville, they really are. And I don't know if Josh, has some type of weed supply or something down here, but all I can tell you is that the people down here are really high on Tim Tebow, and I just for the life of me can't understand why. So Tebow mania is real. Other things that I'm seeing down here, like you said, I haven't seen as many Trevor Lawrence jerseys yet, but I mean, I guess it's just maybe the part of town I'm in because I'm on the beach, so people are walking around and literally with no shirt on.
A lot of jorts.
Yeah, that's people are excited about the Jaguars. I have no idea why they're not going to be anywhere close to playoff contenders. But I'm walking around.
Come on, they got
They
hope they have a quarterback. They hope they got their guy. I would be excited
a quarterback.
too.
I just don't know what they got in Tim Tebow. Because to be honest, a lot of people are still kind of scratching their head. Yeah, they're still trying to, they're still scratching their head as to why they will go out and sign him. Because he doesn't make the team better, but. That's not our concern. So,
well, he does the pregame prayer. That's what Tim Tebow's there for. He breaks him down. How the pregame. That's what he does.
Paying a lot of money for a chaplain. I think they could have had better choices and better options than that.
Going to the Chiefs, Tyrann Mathieu spoke, and Tyrann Mathieu talked about his tweet and how he deleted it. I think he didn't mean for that to get as out of control as it did.
You know what? He was speaking in code because I'm going to be quite honest. I'm not sure what tweet people were talking about because they referenced that tweet about 4 times in the print. I'm like, dude, seriously? I'm like, that's the best y'all can ask to do. We haven't talked to him all off season. And, these are the questions you asked him about. Look, no offense, Talebo. I think Saran asked those questions. It is what it is. I mean, yeah, hopefully they got something out of it. I don't get the gist of it, but if you could kind of refresh my memory, or you'd help me out with what it actually said, because I can't. It's hard for me to speak on it because he tweets so much. It seems like he's tweeting in code, and people are trying to decipher what the hell he's talking about. And I'm presuming it's got something to do with his contract extension, but I don't want to.
It's about his contract extension. I'll have to pull up the verbatim because it is deleted. I have to pull up what it is verbatim. But basically, it was along the lines of not knowing if a contract is going to get done, and it's about the business aspect of the NFL. The whole thing got taken out of proportion. He's a guy who, when asked questions, he answers. He's a guy.
Well, hold on. I mean,
more than most players, he does not do coach speak, though.
That's
He's not
true,
a guy
but he
who's
does
going to
speak in
shy
code as
away.
well. No,
Sure.
that's fine. But I'm saying he speaks. But let me ask you this, because again, you said it was start. I don't want to say taken out of context, but it started building up a life of its own. That's why people were. And I know you can't tell me verbatim what it said, but where did it go? I'm saying, where did it turn left to where he had to delete it, you think?
Probably just everyone out here wondering what he's going to do. I mean, when you express doubt about getting a contract extension done, that's not a good thing for fans to wonder. I still think a contract gets done. I'm trying to pull it up now.
Yeah, I want and look, and let me say this while you're doing it. I mean, if it gets done, fine. But if it doesn't, I mean, the man ain't going hungry this upcoming season. The Chiefs are going to pay him. If he somehow were to get hurt between now and the start of training camp, his contract would be guaranteed for this year. So the man's going to get his money. Now, I know people are wondering, well, what about the following years and what happens? But look, we saw the same thing happen with Chris Jones, man. Chris Jones had to play out his rookie deal postseason. Chiefs won the Super Bowl off season. You know, he signed a deal. I mean, look, man, this is the business that we are or that he is in. And that's something that, if Brett decides to sign you, fine. If he doesn't, then, I mean, what are you going to do? Sit out? I mean, so I can't, again, I mean, I understand he wants his money, but technically you're getting your money because you're under contract for this upcoming season. And if they, look, Brett Veach, to his credit, when he says he's going to sign some people or whatever, or sign, he has lived up to his word. He did it with Tyreek. He did it with Kelsey. He did it with especially did it with Chris Jones. Of course, we know he did it with Patrick Mahomes. To me, if you start allowing that to play a role, not only in your head, but also you let it play itself on social media, it's going to come back and affect itself on the field. And not saying it's going to affect the team, but it might, affect him where, the last thing you want to do is get in there. And I'm not trying to burn any sage or knock on wood or anything like that. But I think his focus is in the wrong place. Let your agent handle that, man, and you handle what you can handle. And that's going to be your play on the field and what you do in the weight room and making your teammates better.
I think it comes from a place where he feels he should probably be the highest paid or one of the highest paid safeties in the NFL. He has proven by now that he is one of the best safeties in the NFL. I think the tricky line here is, if you're Kansas City, where would you want the extension to go if you could only do one? Orlando Brown, who's 25, or Tyrann Mathieu, by the time you sign a 3-year contract, will be what, 30, 31, 32, 31, 32, 33. It's one of those things where it's going to be a numbers game, and it's just tough because I think Tyrann earned and deserves to be one of the top paid safeties in the NFL, but it's going to come down to, can Kansas City afford to make him the highest paid safety in the NFL?
Well, a couple of things. One, I know we were probably going to talk about a little bit later on, but the NFL and the Players Association, they agreed on a max of $208 million for next year's salary cap. So whether the salary cap lowers or raised, depending on revenue, whatever, next year is 208. So they kind of got a general idea. I think so. Between now and then, it's like 26. That's a $26 million deal. I don't think it's not going to be a situation of either or, but if and we know Orlando Brown's going to get paid. You don't give up the draft capital and not sign a kid 26, so he's going to get paid. Tyrann is going to get paid as well. Look, again, as I tell folks, we somehow, and when I say we, I just mean Kansas City, but the Kansas City Chiefs somehow found a way out of $177 salary cap max that they had, figured out a way to stretch that to almost $700 million in those contract extensions between Kelsey, Chris Jones, and Patrick Mahomes. With a $26 million salary cap increase next year, I think that they'll have a really good chance of signing both of those players to long-term deals. And to the other point about Tyrann being one of the best, I'm with you there. In his single position, I give you that. But what I would ask, and because I didn't get a chance to ask him a question, but I would ask him as well as Patrick Mahomes. I know somebody's going to steal it, but what I would ask is, do you know are you able to, as the best player on the defense or in that defensive backfield, able to elevate those people in the defensive back room to elevate their play to all pro and Pro Bowl status, such as yourself? I mean, it's one thing to say what other players are doing, and it's just like me talking about Patrick elevating the wide receivers. Well, Tyron, you've been the Pro Bowl, all pro player the last couple of seasons, but not your teammates, who surround you in the defensive backfield. Can you elevate their style of play to match yours? Because if you do, then you're talking a hell of a defense that will be recognized next year. And then if you're able to do that, Brett Veach can't help but but you can't help but justify paying you the $20 million or whatever that you're looking for right now. Right now, I personally wouldn't make him the highest paid player right now.
I would make him, if I could, one of the highest paid. Safety is a position where you can play and have some longer longevity. How long did Woodson play until he was like 39? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
safety,
but Woodson's you have. I mean, we can't. Now look,
sure.
Look, nothing against Tyron.
Sure.
But Charles Woodson is, Charles Woodson's in that category. Deion Sanders. I'm not putting Tyron in that category just yet.
My point is, safety, you typically can have some longer longevity than other positions. His intangibles, instincts, defensive IQ, everyone looks to him as this defensive coordinator when he's on the field. Spags talks about all the time.
Yeah.
He is this defensive coordinator. Everyone looks to him in the locker room. You're not just paying for his phenomenal play, but you're paying for the leadership, the IQ, and the intangibles that he brings that I don't think anyone else on this defense has. I mean, if you take Tyrann Mathieu out of the equation, out of this defense right now, I would be very worried as far as who's the leader, who's the guy that's going to step up that everyone looks to on the defense that says, that's our guy. I mean, Chris Jones is great, but he seems a little quieter. Frank Clark's outspoken, but doesn't have the numbers to back it up. Tyrann Mathieu has been that guy.
I would say respectfully, and that's a good point that you brought up, I would probably lean towards Anthony Hitchens. I think he's more of a quiet leader.
Sure, but he's about to be gone too.
Well, no. Well, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about this upcoming season. I'm sorry. I didn't know you were talking about long term. But
this is just for the future in general. My point is,
Frank
Anthony Hitchens on his last year. Even a better reason why you need Mathieu here. You need that leader. You need a guy that people look to, who has that championship pedigree, that IQ, the guy that just draws everyone attention. It's always been Tyrann Mathieu.
Again, I'm not disagreeing with you, and I don't think that's in the direction we're going. I'm just saying that, look, I believe, like you, a deal will get done. My only thing is I just wouldn't make him the highest paid. Now you said one of, okay, maybe one, and that maybe that's just a matter of wordplay. I got to see what the highest salary is as it relates to these safeties. But again, at the end of the day, I don't have a problem with my money going up front because that's where the line of scrimmage is. And Tyron, if Tyron is making too many plays, that's a problem with the first couple of lines of defense, which is going to be the D line and the linebackers. But it is what it is. I mean, look, Brett Veach says he's going to get it done. As I've always said, if we are to quote unquote in Veach we trust, we got to allow this whole process to play out.
According to, it looks like over the cap, Justin Simmons, who by the way is 28 for the Broncos, I thought he was a lot younger than that, is the highest paid safety in the NFL at $15.75 million. You got Budda Baker, Eddie Jackson, but Tyrann Mathieu right now is fifth highest paid. It's not like it's a huge difference. He's getting paid $14.1 this year.
I mean, come on, man. You make it seem like maybe feel like this dude about to go broke or something. I mean, if it's
no. Well, he signed a 3-year, $42 million contract with that original one. He's not going broke. My point is, I think that how NFL players are. They, even if the money's not legitimate, sometimes it can be funny money. They want to have the cachet of being the highest paid player at their position. We know this. We know, for example, if you're in California, the taxes aren't making you the highest paid player at your position, but it's the cachet of saying, look at me. I'm at the top. And I wouldn't be surprised if Tyrann Mathieu feels like he's earned and deserves it. Because what Justin Simmons, phenomenal safety. I love Justin Simmons. What has he done for the Broncos? Tyrann Mathieu, we know, is the heart and soul of a championship Super Bowl winning defense. I could understand him saying, you know what? I want at least one more dollar than Justin Simmons. I get that.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I mean, since it's not that big a deal, he's fit. The guy's number one. All right, fine. Hey, man, put that Milo's thing down, dude.
You don't like sweet tea?
I can't. First of all, I can't have any. So right now, no, I don't like sweet tea.
It's gone. Look, Darren, I put it away just for you.
Well, good. I'm tired of you teasing me. No, but look, man, because I don't want people try to rag on me about not wanting Tyrann to get paid. Again, I believe he's going to get paid, and he might get exactly what you said he's asking for, $1 more. I'm just saying I'm not willing to go broke over Tyrann because at the end of the day, he's about 5'6". I mean, I can find other safeties that might play at that high a position for cheaper.
Who are you going to find at his
I said
level for cheaper?
Well, first of all, I said I might. Now we have to see what happens. Look, Tyrann's playing the season now, so I'm not worried about that. But what I'm saying is there are going to be other players that might be in the run for a Pro Bowl All-Pro that could be potential free agents. So I'm not saying that. And again, if you sign somebody else other than Tyrann, you could end up paying more for what you might have to pay for them instead of Tyrann. I'm just saying I'm not willing to break the bank for the guy. But since he's making 14 and some odd change and the guy's making 15 million, yeah, fine, I'll give him $1 more. I mean,
Yeah.
if that means he's gonna shut up and play, and we ain't gonna have this issue for another few years, fine, give it to him.
I think he will shut up and play. I don't think he's going to be one that makes this a distraction. I don't think he wants this to be a distraction. Knowing Tyrann Mathieu and his outlook on the Chiefs, he seems so team-oriented. I get that, but at the same time, I don't think everyone who tweets thinks it's going to blow up. I don't think that every time someone tweets, they think it's all of a sudden going to be this big deal where everyone in the media talks about it. All the fans are wondering, well, what's happening here? Sometimes I think he was maybe frustrated and aired his grievances and realized, shoot, I can't take this one back. This is turning into a firestorm that I really didn't want to happen.
Here's the thing. It's not like it's just been one tweet. I mean, it's been many tweets over the last couple of weeks, if not couple of months, because people have been asking, well, when are you going to sign Tyrann to an extension? Look, man, I'm starting to get frustrated even talking about it because it's like, dude, let Brett Veach and his agent work the things out. You trying to bring it to the forefront or whatever, like you're gonna push Brett Veach to hurry up and sign me today or whatever. It's not that's not how this thing works. I mean, look what's going on with Deshaun Watson as well as Aaron Rodgers. They talking about they don't want to play for their teams no more. But do you see them bending? Do you see them budging? No, they're talking about they're still there. So I mean, for me, real business isn't done in the public like that, so to speak. And I'm not putting
sure.
and because people don't like other people talking about other people's money, but here you are publicly talking about your money. So when you do stuff like that, then people will talk about it, and so you can't be offended. So I mean, to me, Tyrann is, he disrespecting the G code right now.
I understand that, and Chris Jones was more outspoken about this when his deal before Chris Jones' deal got done. Chris Jones was very outspoken. But when it came time to go to training camp and the mandatory stuff, he was there. Tyrann's going to be there. Tyrann's going to be there.
Well, trust me, nobody's going to be with the new CBA. Nobody's missing out on training camp like that. If you don't have to. To Chris Jones's point, the only difference between the two is that Chris Jones was going into his final year of his rookie deal. He pretty much had outplayed. I don't want to say he outplayed. He was a second draft pick, but he pretty much outplayed it. However, you got to remember they had just lost the AFC Championship game, and he was the biggest cheerleader on that team that year, and then going into the next season where they won the Super Bowl. But the Chiefs, signed Frank Clark, free agent, for $100+ million. You got to remember
Yeah.
that's a different psyche that you as a player trying to get a new contract got to deal with. That you're sitting trying to get a new contract and they go out and sign somebody who's going to play opposite of you for $100+ million. You're gonna feel a certain kind of way. That's different. That his situation is different from what Tyron was going to. And to Chris Jones's credit, and to his credit, he showed up for training camp and did not allow it to be issued. He played that season out, but he also knew when he missed that first playoff game against the Houston Texans that he couldn't afford to miss that next game against the Tennessee Titans, because the Chiefs would have lost. If the Chiefs were to have lose that game, there's no reason for them to re-sign him in the offseason, because, like, well, hell, we can win or lose without you, because you couldn't show up and you couldn't play injured when it mattered most. He balled out that game, balled out in the Super Bowl. Push come to shove, they gave him a contract extension. So his situation is different from Tyron.
If the Chiefs extend Orlando Brown Jr. first, though, then we probably have a lot better comparison as far as the situations go. The only thing I will say, Tyron's made his money. He's already had multiple second contracts. He had a couple one-year deals with other teams. He signed a 3-year, $42 million contract. When Chris Jones had his situation, you're right, he was on his rookie deal. He was trying to get his first big boy contract, so that is a big difference.
Yeah, no, it's huge different. I mean, and you got to remember Orlando Brown's on his rookie deal as well, and so again, man,
Speaking of Orlando Brown, though, you have some audio.
yeah,
I want to hear this. I haven't even heard this yet, Darren. This is news to me.
This is what I do. So we were on a Zoom call with the Chiefs earlier. Andy Reid, Tyrann Mathieu, Orlando Brown, and Anthony Hitchens spoke to us. I got a chance to get a question in with Orlando Brown, basically, and I don't know if this is a question answer. I don't know if my question's on there or not, but we can just play it, and we'll come back on the other side of it.
Hey, Orlando. First of all, I like your little LL Cool J look. You got to tell us about that. But more importantly, when you're in the room, have like Lucas Niang or some of the younger players come to you, Creed Humphrey just come to you and just ask how you've adjusted from going to college to the NFL, and just like trying to get some advice from you, knowing even though this is your first year in Kansas City, but you've been a Pro Bowler at both sides of the ball. Has Lucas Niang or anyone that the Chiefs have drafted or brought in come to you for advice?
Yeah, man, honestly, all of those young guys. And I'm just trying to do my part and be the best leader that I can be, be someone that they can lean on as far as for questions about the scheme, or really more so lifestyle and personal issues that you may deal with as a young player in this league. It's not easy, to make it into this league. It's definitely not easy to stay in it. And, my big thing, and the big thing that I emphasize to them, is the understanding that, this is what we do for a living, but, at the same time, you got to have fun with it. And, you got to enjoy it and understand that, once these pads come on, once the lights come on, man, we're going to be the most physical group in the NFL. And they're taking it in. They're taking in what Coach Heck is teaching, and, Coach Reid, and really just the system. Everyone's all ears. I think we got an incredible offensive line room, including the veterans that we have in there, and some of the older guys, and Mike and Kyle and Joe. Man, I mean, it's an incredible room.
That is good to hear. Seeing the young guys like Lucas Niang, who, as we know, I've been high on. I love Lucas Niang.
Yeah.
I did a whole draft profile on him right after he was drafted. I was disappointed he didn't play last year, but seeing Orlando Brown step into a leadership role in his first year, not even a snap in a Kansas City Chiefs uniform, to me is very impressive and speaks volumes about his character.
True that. So I guess you're saying that was a good question that was asked, but all that being said, no, that's most impressive. I mean, now his look today, looking like LL Cool J, I'm bad, was a nice little image too in front of the media. But no, he seems to, he gets it, man, and I feel like he's already bought into the culture here in Kansas City. He's already bought into the camaraderie. I think that offensive line, man, I truly think it's going to be the best in the league this year. I just think, one, because of the amount of veterans that are in there, mixed with the Trey Smith and the Lucas Niang and the Creed Humphrey and stuff like that, and those players learning from them. But I think, and the fact that they're going to be pushing, even Andy Reid said today that, especially on the right side, they're going to be competing, for those players who haven't played the last 3 years, last year, whatever. You're talking about Kyle Long and the doctor and Lucas Niang. I mean, they're all going to be competing for those spots. Brown and Thuney, their positions are solidified. But the sheer fact that that he gets it and he knows that he knows the potential of what this team could be, man. If you're a fan, that's something that you want to hear. Me as a media type, I like hearing that because not only are you saying the right things, but visually, talking to him and seeing his reaction, you buy into it. His body language says it that he gets it as well. So, man, shout out to him, man. I mean, I really think that he's going to be probably. I think next to signing Patrick to a long-term deal, I think that's going to be Kansas City's best pickup over the last 3 seasons, man. I think Orlando Brown's going to be a life changer.
Yeah. I'm really hoping so as well. He's obviously graded out well. He's only, I think, 25.
He just turned 25
he has,
at the end of the month.
So he has so much more room to grow. Offensive linemen really can play for – offensive linemen, you're looking at guys like Andrew Whitworth who are, 39, 40 out here still getting it done. I am very excited to see him grow with Patrick, grow with this young offensive line, and be an anchor on this left side for years and years to come. Having him, Joe Thuney, Creed Humphrey. Eventually, we'll probably see Lucas Niang, whether that's this year or next, whether we see Creed Humphrey this year or next, whether we see Trey Smith in the future. This is a young, talented, nasty offensive line.
Again, that's what I've been saying before. When you look at the potential of what that future offensive line for Kansas City is going to look like with Brown, Thuney, at least for the next 3 years, Creed Humphrey, Trey Smith, and Luke. First of all, the size. Just the massive size of those players. That's going to be one of the biggest offensive lines probably in NFL history that we're talking about. You're talking about 6'8", 6'9", Orlando Brown all the way over to 6'6", 6'7", Trey Smith and Lucas Niang. With a 6'5" Creed Humphrey. Come on, man. Again, to me, my biggest concern is Patrick having too much time in the pocket now.
I think what will be an underlying success story here is the run game should be better. Those short yardage situations where the Chiefs had to use trickery, where they had to try Blake Bell screen plays, where you had to see the four tops. I think now we'll see more up the gut. I think Clyde, for all the talk about his red zone and goal line woes, I think this will be much improved. Just having the size up front, the ability to push 40 yard or two is going to make just Clyde's life so much easier. I think the red zone issues that have plagued Kansas City in the past, and why I mean plagues, we're obviously using hyperboles here because, again, back-to-back Super Bowl appearances, obviously they're doing something right, but the numbers you think would be higher, this should help immensely.
I would say this. The only concern that I have, Sterling, is this. Because that offensive line is going to be so massive and we're going to be seeing Patrick doing, great stuff in the passing game, I have a feeling that this is just me. Now, we can come back to this day, 6 months, 6 months from now, we'll see where the Chiefs are at. I got a feeling we might not see the run as much because Andy Reid might get so caught up in the passing game, he might forget about the run game. We're also going to run the football. But
I'm okay with that.
No, yeah. I'm sure you as well. But, yeah, you would think with that size that, yes, you should be able to run the ball more effectively. But I also think, he got that line to protect Patrick to throw, not for Clyde to run. Let's keep that in mind.
Sure. No, 100% agree there. That this is legitimately for Patrick. This was we saw in this. It's for the fans too. I think the fans
Andy
were so brutal.
Next time I get a chance to ask Andy a question, I'm going to ask him that. Because that's a good question. I ain't patting myself
I
on the
mean,
back.
did the fans play a part in just ripping into everyone on Twitter? You know, everyone was so pissed off about the offensive line after the Super Bowl. Kansas City fans can get very sure. In general, fans are emotional.
Yeah, but everybody saw it.
Fans are emotional.
The world saw it. So, I mean, you don't really have a choice. Look, the Cincinnati Bengals, they had a bad offensive line dealing with Joe Burrow. Did they address it? Well, they addressed it in the second round, but they didn't address it like the Chiefs did during the offseason. That's all I'm saying. I'm like, the Chiefs might not have addressed
Seattle's
it.
had a bad O-line for a decade.
Again, that's my whole point. But they won the Super Bowl. When they lost the Super Bowl, it wasn't because of the offensive line. It's because of the head coach calling that dumb play. With Kansas City, everybody knows it was the offensive line because Patrick was running for his life. I'm saying, had the Chiefs found a way to win it, the greatness of Patrick Mahomes, they might not have been addressing the offensive line in the manner in which they did. That's all I'm saying.
We'll take a quick break, come back with more Chiefs talk, including some NBA talk, talking about the NBA playoffs and fans being out of control. This is Darren and Sterling here on ESPN Kansas City.
It's patio season. There is no better way to enjoy a safe and socially distanced meal than on a patio at Hereford House. Be treated like a king or queen on their patio with a 21-day aged, hand-cut daily, certified Hereford beef steak that is grilled to perfection over charcoal. Looking for something lighter? Enjoy their guest favorite salmon BLT or chicken Cobb salad. Go to HerefordHouse.com for hours, new menu items, and to make your reservation. Hereford House, voted Kansas City's favorite steakhouse.
Harry's Razors just came out with their sharpest blades ever. But unlike other razor companies, they're not charging you more. Harry's new sharper blades are still as low as $2 each. You heard me right, just $2. How do they do it? Harry's owns a German factory that's been honing razor blades for 100 years. They source their steel from Sweden and own the entire manufacturing process, from research and development to the factory floor. It allows them to keep the prices lower. How confident are they? A 100% quality guarantee. You'll see it at harrys.com. Blades are even delivered directly to you. No getting unmasked and standing in line. They're delivered straight to your door, with or without a subscription. And right now, Harry's has a great offer for my listeners. New customers get $5 off a Harry's trial set when you use the promo code PETRO, P-E-T-R-O, at harrys.com. That's a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, foaming shave gel, and travel cover, all for just $3, plus free shipping. That's razor, weighted handle, foaming shave gel, and travel cover, all for $3, shipped to you for free. Only at harrys.com, only with promo code PETRO.
Are you looking for unique sporty clothing and merchandise that makes you stand out from the crowd? Do you love Kansas City sports teams? The Cherry Company designs and creates fashion-forward gear for athletes, avid sports fans, and everything in between. Check out our famous Casey Mahomes denim jacket at cherrysportsgear.com or find it in stores in the Made in KC, Lee Summit, or Plaza location. Sport style, sport local, sport Cherry. Want a 20% off discount? Mention 810 Sports in store or use code 810 online. Stay on top and visit cherrysportsgear.com today.
Building a pool is not a job for amateurs. If you want a pool you'll enjoy for a lifetime, call the pros at Pro Built Pool and Patio. Pro Built Pool and Patio is the largest provider of fiberglass pools in the region. Unlike liners, fiberglass pools from Imagine Pools and Pentair Pool Equipment are built to last, and they have over 200 different design options to fit your space. Pro Built Pool and Patio offers competitive pricing, financing, and the fastest install timelines. Get a free quote by calling 816-786-3893 or go to ProBuiltPatio.com.
Hey, Soren Petro here. Why settle for pre-sliced meats and dry bread when you can get sliced to order? Meats piled high on soft, fresh baked bread. Founded right here in Lenexa, Kansas, Good Sense has been doing things the right way since they began. Good Sense has been a Kansas City classic for over 30 years. They've mastered the craft of soft bread by preparing and baking their signature bread twice each day. They slice all their meats and cheeses by hand to make sure that your sandwich tastes fresh. They don't do these things because they're easy. They do them because it's what tastes best. Good Sense also offers toasted subs, pastas, my daughter's absolute favorite, and even kids' meals too. And their delicious giant cookies make the perfect dessert. Find the Good Sense location closest to you at goodsense.com. Sandwich lovers in KC have chosen Good Sense for over 30 years, not because it's easy, but because it's better. No nonsense, just Good Sense.
Did somebody say triple play? Who doesn't want a triple play? Not only for our boys in blue, but now through the end of the month, you can get an Anthony triple play. That's an AC, plumbing, and electric inspection, all for just $199. And here's the best part. If KC gets a triple play, then you're going to get your money back. Now, that's just another reason to want a triple play from Anthony. Visit AnthonyPHCE.com for details. That's AnthonyPHCE.com.
Welcome back to Darren and Sterling here on ESPN Kansas City, 1510 AM, 94.5 FM, 1510.com, Twitter and Facebook Live. All right, Darren, before we go to NBA, I know you talked a little bit with Anthony Hitchens. What was that all about?
Well, since I'm a workout warrior now, I can kind of tell when he was at the podium, like, man, this brother look a little bit lean, like he been doing a little bit working out or whatever. So basically, I just wanted to know, obviously when you win a Super Bowl, how you kind of celebrate in the off season. Well, what has he been doing this off season since the team lost? And has he changed the diet up? Is he eating differently? Is he working out more? I just want to know, like, how did you spend your off season prior to you coming to back to OTAs? And this is what he had to say.
Hey, it's a good seeing you. I'm curious, you come from last year, you're coming off a Super Bowl win. This year, you're coming off from a Super Bowl loss. But what did you do, or how was your off season? What were you doing in the off season to better prepare you for this upcoming season? I see that you look a little bit leaner. I mean, are you dieting this off season, hitting the weight room? What are you doing, when the coaches and your teammates aren't around?
Yeah, I'm trying something different. To be honest, I am getting a little more lean. I'm gonna try to lean out a little more, spring ball, and then as camp comes and as the season comes, I can put the bulk and the muscle and getting that extra lift in. So, yeah, I'm a little more lean. Obviously, we all know this is a spread type of offense, and a lot of guys are running crisscross, and Tyreek Hill's running down the field and things like that. So, I got a little more lean, and I'm just watching the body fat. I mean, it's no secret. I am in year 8. I can't do what I did 3-4 years ago. So, so I'm just trying to lean out, watch my diet, and just keep working, try different things, and hopefully it works, for my body. Everybody's different. So, this is something different that I'm trying this year, is leaning more and then add the bulk as we, add bulk reps and practice and games and things like that.
So he understands at his age, he's not as quick as he once was. He's got to lean out a little bit, keep up with some of these guys, not just in Kansas City, but when you're looking around the league now, a lot more tight ends are pass first tight ends. If you look at the division, Noah Fant, Alberto, Darren Waller, when you just look around, you got to make sure you're quick enough at linebacker, have the explosiveness, and you can always add bulk on later. He just basically said, Darren, that he can add bulk on later. That's not the issue. Getting lean and cut, that comes first.
Yeah, look, man. As I mentioned, he's like one of the quiet leaders on the team, man, and he's another guy now. Just by what he said then, I'm rooting for this upcoming year. Hopefully for him to have a good season. I mean, that's this is really the evolution of the NFL and where we are today. I mean, tight ends of the Mike Dickey era. I mean, it's no longer, man. I mean, you got. First of all, you get to practice against Travis Kelce, who is the best, if not one of the best tight ends in the game. So really going up against him every day should make you a better player already, and should better prepare you for when you're going up against Darren Waller and some of these other, George Kittle, some of these other tight ends that you're seeing on these other teams. But to that point, look, man, one thing that I feel Kansas City would be wise and mimicking is the great success of the Dallas Cowboys. That defense was fast. They could hit. They were fast. They could stop the run. Obviously, having Dion on some of those teams, playing the pass was just something that that wasn't even thought of. But if Hitchens can, and plus for me, this will allow him to be more injury free. I don't think he suffered injuries last year, but that would keep him in that, going in that direction. And so being lean allows you to obviously be able to move from side to side laterally, and also will allow you to, if you have to drop in coverage, it allows you to have that speed. And I'm pretty sure as it gets close to the season and as the season progresses, he will add on that bulk that he talked about.
What is interesting to me is this is probably his final season in Kansas City. I think Nick Bolton and Willie Gay Jr. become the main two guys going forward. And I don't know how tough that is for Hitchens. I love Anthony Hitchens, a phenomenal human being, a legitimate great guy. But the writing is a little bit on the wall. He's obviously one of the leaders on defense, but just the way the Chiefs are going, they wouldn't draft two linebackers in the second round in back-to-back drafts unless they thought this is the way we're going. Hitchens' contract, I don't want to say steady decline by any means because he's still a solid contributor, but he's not going to be a superstar by any stretch of the imagination. He's not getting younger. He's not getting better. I would imagine this is his final season.
Well, let me say this.
In Kansas City.
Let me say this. One, this is my opinion. One, he doesn't have to be a superstar. He just has to have steady play to where he's not, he's not the cause of a team losing or the defense looking bad. So I would say that respectfully. Two, Willie Gay and Nick. I mean, they have to go out and take that position too. I mean, nothing is going to be
sure.
The only position that's given to anybody is Patrick and Orlando Brown. I don't care what nobody else says. Those two positions are given. Anything else right now? I mean, like Andy said, you're going to be fighting scraping for. So I would say so. To that point, if he plays well, and because all last year, and granted, in his defense, obviously COVID, not having camp, stuff like that, worked against Willie Gay. But you still played throughout the year. And you had all off season. If he can elevate his play to where he's challenging Hitchens for some PT or even our second round draft pick, if because there are two positions. So I know Gay is penciled in as a starter. We'll have to see how that still unfolds. But I would also say this: if by chance Steve Spagletto gets a coaching job next year, well, that could change things up because you bring in a different coach, different DC. They might, they're probably not going to run a 4-2-5 defense. They might go back to 4-3 or 3. Well, probably 4-3. So you wouldn't necessarily have to get rid of Hitchens.
I just think it'll be an interesting thing to watch. I think that the common thought will be this is Hitchens last year. Either way, he's been a consistent, not spectacular, but consistent linebacker for the past few seasons for Kansas City. He has been the guy calling plays. Everyone calls him a quiet leader. You know how Matthews, the outspoken leader. Well, yeah, but Hitchens has been that guy since basically he came here. He hasn't had the breakout that a lot of folks expected when he came from Dallas because everyone expected him to automatically pick up where he was from Dallas. That didn't happen. We thought when the defense, because he came here, it was a 3-4. He played a 4-3 in Dallas. When Kansas City went back to that 4-3, basically a 4-2-5, we thought he would regain some of that. I don't know if age was a factor. I don't know if the guys around him were a factor. He hasn't got that. But what he has been a consistent factor for a long time, at least the past, 3? Would this be his 4th year now? Or is this his 3rd?
I thought this.
He seems like he's been here a lot longer than he's been.
I can't remember.
I'm looking that up.
Yeah.
It feels like he's been here for like 6.
Yeah, but Sterling, I mean, you make some good points. But again, for me, it's like, as you said, he's the one that's out there calling the plays. Well, if your draft pick this year and Willie Gay, I mean, if they aren't able to pick up those plays again, why would you risk letting Hitchens go? I mean, because first of all, he's not going to cost you an arm and a leg to bring him back or to re-sign him, and so the value of him being here probably weighs more than the value of him not being here. Again, you talk about him being in Dallas, but when he came to Kansas City, he was calling the defense, and that defense helped him win the Super Bowl.
Sure.
So I'm saying, so again, I'm just saying, little things like that we sometimes overlook may add into the value of why Hitchens could possibly still be here versus, we just up and assuming that Willie Gay and the other kid are just going to just come out and take their position.
Nick Bolton.
And look, and for me, Hitchens seems like the type of dude that, you ain't just taking my position. You're going to come in and earn it. You're going to beat me for it. And I just think, I think Hitchens is cut from a different cloth. And obviously to me, winning the Super Bowl gives you a bit of an air of confidence that you may not have had that you didn't have while you were in Dallas because you were perennially 8-8 and losing and stuff like that. And so here's the thing: Willie Gay was on the sidelines, injured and stuff during the Super Bowl run. Nick Bolton hasn't played for a championship, so they don't really have that cachet, that credibility to be like, okay, I'm the guy that's going to be calling this play. Now, unless they both get out on the field this year and ball out and help lead the team to a Super Bowl, I put me on the side of Hitchens returning.
The one thing you can also say with Hitchens is his availability has been fantastic. This actually will be his fourth season coming up in Kansas City, which seems hard to believe.
Okay, so
he played
so
15, 15, 14.
Okay, so that means he was here for the AFC Championship game, came back, Super Bowl.
The
okay.
loss.
Yep. So that type of experience, Sterling, man, I don't know, man. You just don't let that walk out the door. Out.
Now, I get it. Hey, I would like Hitchens to be back. I just don't think you draft back-to-back linebackers in the second round without the intention of those being your two guys going forward. I think Hitchens
I don't think Steve Spagnuolo comes back next year.
Price himself. I think Hitchens will price himself out of Kansas City's market. They have to get cheaper. They're going to have to get younger positions. I know Brett Veach is phenomenal, wiggling with the cap, but eventually, no matter how good you are, the time comes where you got to pay guys, and Hitchens is, I still going to think, get a decent contract on the open market. But Darren, we'll take a quick break. We'll come up, finish the show with some NBA talk. That work for you?
Works for me.
Love that. We'll take a quick break. This is Darren and Sterling right here on ESPN Kansas City.
The Memorial Day sale is on now at Euroselect Countertops and Decor. They're offering 5-day kitchen makeovers, including countertops, faucets, sinks, and backsplashes. That's right, Euroselect Countertops and Decor can transform your kitchen in just 5 days. And if you're looking for new cabinets, they can handle that as well. Euroselect offers 18 months interest-free financing with approved credit. Come to the Euroselect Countertops and Decor showroom on the corner of 99th and Lackman Road to learn all about their custom remodeling services.
You've created a comfortable home office. Now, let Carrier provide the cash bonus. For a limited time, you can claim up to $1,650 in cool cash rebates on a qualified Carrier home comfort system. There's never been a better time to upgrade to a year-round premium comfort and energy savings. Carrier, turn to the experts and schedule an estimate today online at katesheatingandcooling.com. Kate's, for the homeowner who cares.
How does your website get noticed among the 1.7 billion on the internet? At Digital Lagoon, we've been making companies stand out since 1995. This past year, more people have used the web than ever before to find exactly what they wanted. When was your site's last facelift? Is it mobile friendly? Does it have an SEO strategy? Is your social media presence designed to drive traffic to your site? Digital Lagoon is the answer to all these questions and all your creative and marketing needs. Check us out at lagoon.com. That's lagoon.com.
Grilling season is here, and it's time to stop by Smoke and Fire, your barbecue and fireplace headquarters. Smoke and Fire is having a huge grill sale right now. Get a free cover with any grill purchase just by mentioning Sports Radio 810. And they're having a big sale on seasoning and barbecue accessories. Smoke and Fire has the largest selection of rubs, seasonings, and barbecue sauces around. So stop in now and get a free grill cover with the purchase of any grill. Smoke and Fire on the northwest corner of 151st and 69 Highway. Think family, think friends, think Smoke and Fire.
Are you looking for unique sporty clothing and merchandise that makes you stand out from the crowd? Do you love Kansas City sports teams? The Cherry Company designs and creates fashion-forward gear for athletes, avid sports fans, and everything in between. Check out our